In Utah, if you have a coworker showing up to work with a sudden rise in shoulder-bearing outfits, it might mean that they're going through a major life transition. That's because many members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints wear sacred underwear called garments as a symbol of their commitment to their faith. Garments come in different shapes, fabrics, and cuts, but they're not supposed to be altered, and they all have covered at least some part of the wearer's shoulder. Because of that, many members consider sleeveless outfits immodest. Being a Latter-day Saint can be an all-or-nothing pursuit. So if your work buddies are suddenly cutting off the sleeves of their favorite t-shirts, it might be because they've stepped away from their Latter-day Saint faith. Until now, that is. Last fall, the church introduced new open-sleeve garments that look more like tank tops than the current cap sleeve design. These new sleeveless garments mean that members suddenly have more options for tops and brides-to-be have more choices for wedding dresses. The catch is that you can't buy the garments here in Utah or even in the United States. They're available only in other countries and won't be sold in the US until later this year. But some members aren't letting that stop them. The church has a vast global network of volunteers, proselytizers, former missionary companions, and old Brigham Young University roommates, all of whom might be the key to copping those coveted open sleeve garments. Stateside members have even paid folks living abroad to mail them sleeveless garments. It has become a sort of underground market. On a trip to South Africa, Nellie Frederick scored some sleeveless garments for a wedding dress in time for her June temple marriage. The earliest version of garments were a one-piece that reached the wearer's wrists and ankles. Later on, they were shortened to sit above the knee and bicep. The church's official history says the first presidency views the symbolism of the garment as more important than the style. But that hasn't stopped church leaders from using garment style as a modesty standard. For years, some Latter-day Saint leaders have gone out of their way to suggest that teens, even young girls, should cover up their shoulders as a sign of modesty and to prevent boys from having impure thoughts.
If it's too low or too high or too tight, it may prompt improper thoughts, even in the mind of a young man who's striving to be pure.
Historically, bare shoulders were off limits in church publications. In a magazine for adult members, a Carl Bloch painting was digitally altered to add sleeves and remove wings on an angel. An issue of the church's magazine for children ran a story of a young girl who wanted to wear a sundress that her grandma gave her. The girl noticed that her dress didn't have any sleeves. Her mother found a shirt to wear under the dress and said, "Then it will be modest." The change in garment style might also indicate a change in modesty standards, at least in church publishing. The most recent edition of BYU Hawaii's magazine featured a bride wearing a sleeveless dress in front of the temple.